Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to start using this data we created to generate a chart, a graph, a break-even graph. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start here in A1. I'm using my Shift key, and I'm bringing and highlighting this entire area, or selecting this entire area is the more proper word. And once I have all of this data, including the headers, selected, I'm going to go up to Insert. I'm going to go over here to Charts. I want to scatter plot with lines, and you can already see it's starting to populate it. I'm going to click on that and hit OK. Now you can see the tiny little chart it generated right here on our screen, but we want to move it to a page by itself. This will be important for your grading in a case where you're asked to produce a break-even chart on a single page, a single 8.5 by 11 inch page, which is a letter size page. So let's click on some area here in the chart, right-click, move chart to a new sheet, hit OK, and isn't that brilliant? It just puts it on a sheet all by itself. I'm sorry these numbers are getting a little lighter. They're even harder for me to see. I don't want to make it too much bigger. Let's fix our chart title first. That's real easy to fix. Just click on it. Widgets, Inc, break even, graph. Okay, and just click someplace else. Now, one of the issues we have, let's just double check our work here. Revenue, total revenue, is this gold line. That's perfect because it went up to 180,000. Total revenue is on this y-axis, the vertical axis, and then there are number of units produced, are on our x-axis. There's a couple of things we need to do to the x-axis. First off, we need it to start at 1,000 units. 1,000 units. Okay, so let's do that first. I'm going to double click that, and you can see over here on the left. Let me bring that in a little bit so you can see it. See how over here on the right that the axis options popped up. I think we could have also done that by right-clicking, but you see where it says units. Major, minor. I want units to be in 1,000, and I want the minimum bound to be 1,000. And then I'm going to hit OK and let the chart reset itself. Now I can close that little area. Okay, this looks beautiful. This looks beautiful. So 1,000. 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, and here is our break-even point. You can see where total costs, which is this gray line right here, intersects with total revenue, which is this gold line. All right, now we just have a couple of more things that we need to do, and that is insert. We're going to come under here and find shapes, which is this little bitty thing. Hit that little drop down deal, grab that arrow. Remember, wherever you start, especially if you have a one arrow, not a two-way arrow, wherever you start is where the arrow will not be. Where you end is where the arrow will be. You can see it right there. Now that I've correctly pointed out at the break-even point we have 6,000 units, I right-clicked. I want to format this object. I want to make it a very nice solid line, and I want to make it, say, black, and I want to make it a little fatter. So I'm using the numbers here. Width, sorry you can't see it. Let me make this a little smaller. Hold on just a second while I fix this so that you can see it. There we go. Now you can see it. So I'm just increasing the width here a little bit. Okay, and you can see it's getting much darker as I do this. And I think I might want to make some big dashes in it. Okay, all right. So we have pointed out the number of units by a line. Let's do the same thing. Insert, shapes, arrow, over here at 90,000 in revenue, which is also the 90,000 in total costs. See, I did my format object, brings this up over here, line. Want to make it a solid line, black again. Now I want to make it dashed a little bit, use the same dashes. I want to make it a little thicker. And that's about the same thickness as the other one. And now it looks like we have pointed toward the units at break-even point and to the dollars at break-even point. Okay, super. Now I can get rid of that so that you can see the entire spreadsheet in this window. We have a couple of more things to do and then we're finished with this break-even graph. We're going to go to Insert, those little bitty shapes. We got to scroll all the way down to Callouts. Grab this third thing that's circular, oval, and we're going to just plop it in here so we can start to work with it. Okay, you can always move it afterwards. We're going to point to this corner. I'm going to move it down a little bit more. Point to this corner. Notice that little yellow ball that you can grab and move it around. See, I can move it around. Like that a lot. Okay. Now, I've left-clicked it, so I activated it. I right-click it so I can format it. I don't want any fill in this. Okay. But I also do want, on my formatting, I want to edit text. See, the text has no color. So let's go over here to Home. Let's select a black text so that when we type number BEP equal 6,000 units. Okay, that's great. Now, personally, if it's me, I like to do Control-C, Control-V. Oh, it can't copy and paste that. So we can't do that in Excel like we can in PowerPoint. So we'll have to come over here to Insert, Callouts, put one over here so that we can work with it for the revenue area. Total cost equal total revenue at this break-even point. Again, remember that little pointy thing on the callout is something you can point it to, so you're going to want to point it to that arrow. I'm going to right-click. I'm going to remove the fill, get rid of that blue. I'm now going to right-click. I want to make sure I'm accessing that. So see, I lost the access. If you lose your little corners like this around an object you're working on, if you lose those like I just did, that means you deactivated it. So I want to come up here to Home. I want to make sure my text is there in black, and I want to edit the text. And then I'm going to put $BEP equal $90,000. Okay, so, and make sure this one has units. Okay, I want to be able to see units. Notice it started missing. So this looks really good. We've got our two callouts. We've got all of our information. We have fixed costs, the variable costs, the total costs, and the total revenue in our graph. Plus our graph has a header. And notice you can always do File, Print, and you can get a preview to see that this is the entire page that you would get printed. Of course, if your case asks you to put a header or footer in here, you can always do that by inserting a header or footer from the Print menu, Home, File, Print. You can always print it to a PDF, which is what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to say Print, and then it's going to save it into my Winter 3700. That's what I'm doing right now. Okay, so I've printed it to a PDF. I'm going to close this. I'm going to save all my work. And I can always go back and look for it. There it is. I'm going to open it. Just double check my work in a PDF form. See what it looks like. Looks like what I created. So I'm in great shape to include it in any case as a page. Just drop it in. Okay, I hope that's helpful in creating a break-even graph, and hope you get to use this video to support your needs in creating the graphs. Thank you very much.